Hey guys, Pro1701 here, and today we are reviewing The Pirate Planet with the Fourth Doctor, written by Douglas Adams. I'm a huge fan of Douglas Adams. City of Death is my favorite Doctor Who story, and I love Shada as well. And I really enjoy Pirate Planet. It is my favorite story from Season 16. And while I don't necessarily think Season 16 has any true masterpieces in it, I really enjoy Pirate Planet. It and Rebus Operations is definitely my two favorites for the season. Really enjoyed this rewatch. Took me a second to get into it. The first episode, I find the first episode kind of the slowest. It takes it a minute to get going. And a couple of the acting performances from the guest cast took me a second to start clicking with it. But once I was adjusted to the episode, I really enjoyed it. I absolutely love Tom Baker in this story. This might not be one of Tom Baker's top 10 best stories, but it is one of my favorite performances of Tom Baker in a story. Because the Fourth Doctor is just tailor-made for Douglas Adams' writing. I mean, they really gel together. Douglas Adams' style of humor and wit and the Fourth Doctor really go together. Tom has some amazing lines in this. Like, I love right at the end of episode 3 when the Doctor walks into the bridge and the Captain's just like, "You survived!" And the Fourth Doctor's just like, "Yes, I seem unable to break the habit." And he just says it so flippantly. I absolutely love it because the Fourth Doctor is very witty in this. I also love in like episode 2 maybe when the Captain's just like, "Find the Doctor, find this character named the Doctor." When he has Romana captured, right then the Doctor walks in from under the, "Hello, I'm the Doctor. How are you doing? It's nice to meet you. Oh, how are you doing today? This is my associate Romana. Are you doing right? Is this an awesome?" And he's just talking really fast, happy to be there. You know, like he's walking in at a friend's house he goes to all the time. And then the guards grab him and he's like, "I find your hospitality underwhelming." I just love how flippant he is here. But then he has his really serious moments too. Like when the Captain is showing him his experiment where he has all the planets locked up. You know, kind of like the idea they would reuse in the Series 11 finale. Because heaven forbid Chibnall will think of new ideas. I really like that speech there when the Doctor's trying to figure out why. And he does that, "But what's it all for?" That whole bit there. Because I like at the beginning how even the Fourth Doctor is impressed by it. You know, this is a technical marvel. This is the greatest, most brilliant engineering feat of, was it geometry or whatever it is I've ever seen. He admits the fact that it's impressive. He goes, "I'm glad you're impressed." Impressed. All these things turned around, and I love the Fourth Doctor's speech there, especially that "what's it all for" line. I love that. Tom Baker's on fire there. And then I love him when he's talking to Princess Xanxia, spoilers ahead, of course, at the end when she's telling her plan to make her body corporeal, and the Doctor's just telling her why it won't work. And he's, "It's not going to work. That won't work because of this, this, and this." No, it will happen. No. It's undeniable. And he's like, "Inevitable." I love that whole bit right there where he's simply telling her she's wrong. My calculations are wrong. And I love the fact he's not arrogant about it. It's one of the reasons I love the Fourth Doctor. Unlike some of the other Doctors like 1 and 6 and 10 and 12, where they're a bit arrogant, even 3 to an extent, I love 3, where they're a bit arrogant. They kind of know they're the smartest man in the room. The Fourth Doctor's not really like that. He's never arrogant about it. He's just stating facts. Like when he's telling her this, he's never, "I'm smarter than you and you should listen to me." He's never that. He's simply laying out the facts because they are the facts. So he's not trying to be smarter than her. He's just telling her like it is. It won't work. And I love the way Tom delivers those lines when he's just explaining to her as a matter of course. Your plan's going to fail. The power will never work. What are you going to do after draining planets, draining suns? There's not enough energy in the universe. I love Tom Baker in this story. I love the Fourth Doctor. I do think it's one of the best performances of Tom Baker as the Fourth Doctor. He is just so good in this. I like Romana in this. I really love Mary Tam's Romana. I much prefer Romana 1. She's really good in this. Unlike some of the stories in the season, like Androids of Tara, where she's kind of in that damsel in distress role that I don't really care for. She's really, really good in this. just absolutely nails it. She's really good here. The guest cast do a fine job. I love the captain. Purchase, what's his name? Bruce Purchase. I really like him as the captain. He's a little hammy, but it's a good hammy. He does have this over-the-top, Mr. Fibbler! I love that, Mr. Fibbler! I really like his design, too, especially for Classic Who. It works really well. His cyber design, it does a really good job of him making him look like a cyborg. And the way he moves and where it clanks and stuff, does a good job. I really like his performance. It's a little over-the-top campy, but it's a good over-the-top campy. It really makes me like his character. And it just adds a little bit of, it adds a little bit to the story for me. I really loved his performance as the captain here. I really like how when he moves like he's an android and the kind of clunking sound he makes when he moves. His death scene is really well done. When you see the explosions kind of coming up, that's, again, for Classic Who, it's pretty effective. I was really impressed with it. It did a really good job. And I love that the captain is a genius. It mentions that in the story. You have to keep in mind, he is a genius. I mean, he created that technical marvel that even has the Doctor impressed. That's saying something. So that's pretty ingenious, too. And even the Doctor, you know, even Romana and the Doctor talk later. So all that blustering was just to lull the Queen into a false sense of security. Yes. So that's really neat. I also noticed that when I was looking at some of the location work, the footage looked really, really good. And I couldn't help but think, I wonder if this is surviving film elements. I didn't know, but it looked like it could be the actual surviving location work. So I did some research on the computer, and it is. The location work for this story survives. The 16mm film used for the location work, the film elements, still survive. So when they remastered this for the box set, the location work's going to be glorious. And there's a decent amount of it, not like a super lot, but not just a tiny bit either. It's a decent little amount of location work, so that's going to look really crisp. I mean, it looks even better just on the DVD release, because I do have the DVD release. On that, which you can see right here. And it looks really good on that, so on the Blu-ray it's going to look really phenomenal. And it is nice to know that some of Tom Baker's stuff does survive. Some of the location work does survive in its original film elements, so it can look glorious in HD. Yeah, I really, really enjoyed the story. I love all the ideas going on with the Queen and her trapped, kind of locked in the last few seconds of her life while she's trying to turn a holographic body into a corporeal body. I love the whole thing about a pirate planet, basically a vampire planet that teleports itself around other planets and sucks them dry like a vampire. I think that was one of the original titles they were going to use for this, was the Vampire Planet. It's a fascinating concept that teleports itself, just much like a TARDIS around other planets and just drains them. I think that's a fascinating idea. And it's horrifying, actually. It really is. You know, even the Doctor mentions, one of the greatest, horrific things that's ever been done, in this universe, when he realizes what's going on. I do love the slow build as you realize what's going on, and as the Doctor realizes what's going on. It's really well done. I don't have a lot of complaints. I don't like that they managed to beat it just by hitting it with a spanner wrench or whatever. Like when they, the Doctor and the Mentiats link up psychically, and he just takes the little wrench and whacks it one good time and everything blows up. That's kind of silly, and I will admit that's a little Deus Machina silly. Kind of, my suspension of disbelief kind of goes to that. But I'll let it go because I like the story. I also like Mr. Fibbler. Mr. Fibbler! I like him. The actor playing him does a good job. He has that kind of intelligent but slightly submissive quality to him that he pulls off really well. And I like the fact that the captain liked him. When Mr. Fibbler gets killed, he's, Mr. Fibbler, he was a good man. He will be avenged. I think that's why he didn't kill Mr. Fibbler earlier when he executed somebody with the bird. Because I think he liked Mr. Fibbler. I do think he really liked him. And it's nice to see that the captain had a respect for someone like that. Because the captain, you can tell, again, the captain doesn't like his situation where he's stuck on this planet. He wants to be out seeing the stars. He's a pirate. He's a warrior. He wants to, just go out seeing the universe and plundering and all that fun stuff. I really get a lot of character development on the captain here. If you actually watch the story, especially watching it multiple times, if you watch it, 2, 3, 4 times, you start really noticing that the captain has some very good character development that, that style of performance might not convey on first watch. He is actually pretty fleshed out character if you pay attention to everything going on and what everyone else is saying about him too. It's a really good story. Easily the best story of season 16. I like some of the model work, like when you see the bridge. That's pretty neat. Some of the effects could use some updating, like whenever they're shooting their guns and it just shows the little dots flash. I think Pirate Planet is a strong contender to be maybe the story from season 16 that gets the effects upgrade, because hopefully the season 16 box set will get a special effects upgrade, and I really hope it's either Armageddon Factor or Pirate Planet get it. It needs to be one of those two in my opinion, either Armageddon Factor or Pirate Planet. Because Pirate Planet could really benefit from some scenes, like anytime they're shooting a gun, much like how Day of the Daleks benefits in its special edition of whenever they use a gun, we actually see laser blast now, where in the original Day of the Daleks, the screen would just flash white. They actually added in the laser blast, and that really helps Day of the Daleks special edition be much stronger than the original version of the story. Same thing here. I think adding in actual laser blast, laser shot lines, instead of just the little flash, would help and improve that and make it a little more enjoyable viewing. And there's a few other things, like when the Mentats use their powers, sometimes the effects there could be updated. You could update a couple of the model shots. There are some tweaks that can be made just to make it a slightly better viewing experience. It's still a really good story. I don't really mind it. I love the story, but it would give it just that small little tweak to make it a little more enjoyable, I think. So yeah, the Pirate Planet. I absolutely love this story. My favorite story of season 16, which I really like. My only biggest gripe is how they crashed the planet with the little wrench, the spanner, whacking against the console when the Doctor and the Mentiats are kind of psychically linked, and they just whack the spanner in the door, and it just blows up everything and causes explosions everywhere. It's kind of Deus Machina, doesn't really work. One good whack on the machine with it would blow up everything, not just in that room, but everywhere. It seems a little far-fetched and silly, and then it would apparently incapacitate all the guards because you don't ever see any of the guards again. It's a little willing suspension of disbelief but I'm willing to forgive it because I love the rest of the story. It's my favorite story from season 16. I really like Douglas Adams' writing. It's really, really good. Tom Baker's performance is top-notch, one of his best, I think. I really like Romana, and most of the guest cast, for the most part, do a really good job. I think it works really, really well, and it's got a good sense of humor, and I really like the captain in it. Again, I really think he's a very fleshed-out character that people might overlook on first watch just because of the slightly over-the-top performance. But if you pay attention to everything going on, you really dig into his character, which I really like. So I have to show you that one sometime. It's really good. He's not a big Doctor Who fan. But yeah, that's my thoughts on the Pirate Planet. What do you think of the Pirate Planet and how it relates to season 16? So comment down below and let me know. Other things to do, click the like button, click the subscribe button, click the bell for notifications, so you never miss out on another video. I also have a Patreon if you like what I do and would like to contribute to what I do. There's a link to that down in the description below, so check that out. My entry level tier is only $2 a month. It's only $2 a month. Most importantly though, thank you for watching. Tom Baker, Doctor Who, in true HD. There's a decent amount of location work in this story. Not a lot. Ooh. Come on. Ooh, stuff. What's up, buddy?
Not much.
I'm working on a review real quick. What is this? Oh, Wind Raider? Give me a second. I'm working on a review for Pirate Planet. Have a seat.
You could at least told me.
No, it's fine. I don't mind. It'll be funny for the people who are watching. Oh. This is my friend Eric.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm reviewing the Pirate Planet. It's a Tom Baker story. And I'm slightly fond of the Fourth Doctor. It's a good one too. It's written by Douglas Adams, the guy who wrote Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. So I like him a lot. So the pretty good stuff. Oh, I talked to Alexa. She should be coming over at some point too. So I think she was talking with her mom on the phone, but she's supposed to be coming over. Have we decided we want to eat yet?
I have no idea.
No idea? Yeah, we'll think of something.